You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry, ChillyBoy Chill's son, and this is my review for Black Adam. Before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. Black Adam is a 2022 comic book adaptation action fantasy film. Directed by Jaume Collet-Serra and starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the film follows Teth Adam, who is bestowed with superhuman powers. When he uses these powers for revenge instead of heroism, he is locked away until he is set free in modern day when he is asked once again to rain down justice on his home. Now, I'm not familiar really with Black Adam. I'm not really familiar with a lot of deep DC lore. Wonder Woman's my jam, so she's where a lot of my knowledge in the DC universe of comic books lies. But I actually enjoyed a lot of the promotional materials. The Rock is such a dang showman that the panel at San Diego Comic Con got me more excited. Every time we got one of those like behind the scenes looks, my anticipation levels went up, and I love me a darker tale. So I was actually looking forward to Black Adam. I was really hoping for a great time at the movies. Ultimately, I would say I left whelmed. Certainly not a good film, though I didn't hate my viewing experience either. Left me in kind of a, eh, that was a comic book movie type of headspace walking out of the movie theater. So let's go ahead and kick off this review with the positives. My biggest positive is actually the lore that is presented here, the background to Black Adam, and this deeper rooted societal root of the character, being a slave in an ancient city, the idea of people's champions and heroes for the small folk. And one, how that can be misrepresented, but two, how that can find itself surfacing in unique ways. Heroism is not a one size fits all. I really like what the film is trying to say at its core. It follows the story of this mother and her son as they're basically rebelling against an oppressive system that has infiltrated their city and really made them modern day prisoners in their own home. Sound familiar? The ideas behind this and standing up to reclaim your freedom. And again, having a hero come from within your own ranks. I love what they say about heroes not coming into these places to help these small folks who are being oppressed by villains of the real world, human villains. I thought all of that groundwork and that bedrock the film builds upon is actually really interesting and something I wasn't anticipating being such a heavy theme throughout the film. I also loved the score. It wasn't overly like intricate by any means, but it was big, it was epic, it was bombastic. The score really elevated the epicness of the film it accompanied, and in a major way, I loved that Black Adam theme specifically. Also really liked our Justice Society overall. Specifically, I thought Aldous Hodge as Hawkman was really fun, even as kind of ridiculous as that helmet specifically is. He is just the defining character of a hero and plays really well off of Black Adam as a character. For me, definitely the scene stealer, the show stealer, the entire film stealer, if you will, is Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan. He was easily the most interesting character in this entire film. I was constantly intrigued by his power set, by who he was as a man and a moral being in this landscape. And I just wanted to follow him and know more about his character. Pierce Brosnan killed it. He has just a great presence in the film. Dr. Fate just simply stole the show. I won't say The Rock is bad in the film as Black Adam. Obviously, he has the physical presence to easily pull this off, but he just doesn't bring any of his charisma to this role. It is so stoic and so void of even warmth, really, that it robs Dwayne The Rock Johnson of what really has made him into a bona fide movie star. Someone who sells tickets and gets people excited, the person who is selling Black Adam up to the high heavens. Big muscly guys are just so much less interesting when that's all they are in films. It's just big, serious, strong men. And that's kind of all Black Adam is here. But overall, I'd say The Rock delivered on what he needed to deliver. And it does set Black Adam up by the end as an interesting character, at least moving forward. So it does its job there. If you're looking for just a big action movie with, explosions and powers on display, this is the film for you. There is so much action in this movie. Some of it's awesome. I particularly love Black Adam versus Hawkman. Black Adam is fighting the Justice Society. That's probably the most fun in the entirety of the film. Getting to see them all trying to like find ways to team up to take on this omnipresent, omnipowerful being was really entertaining, but certainly the most fun I had watching. Then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to Black Adam? Well, I hate to say it, but this is one of the ugliest comic book heroes from a major studio I've seen in years. Thankfully, Morbius is there to kind of keep it from claiming the definitive top spot. But whew, this film was really hard on the eyes. First, the cinematography is not good. Everything from the framing to the camera movement itself to the setup, shot setup, none of it is good. And then we get to the color grading. Now, I know a lot of MCU criticism comes from color grading, but oh my gosh, the orange. I really am going to need us to stop oversaturating Middle Eastern or Middle Eastern coded fantasy countries and Mexico with this overbearing orange filter over the top. And Black Adam certainly hits that. But beyond just the colors and the cinematography, the special effects are really bad. This is a $200 million movie, and very few effects I thought looked convincing. And you add in the slow mo, so much slow mo of The Rock yelling, and we're like getting this kind of superimposed weirdness going on with him. Anytime he's flying, it looks bad. You can just see the green screen behind him. The big criticism of most modern day superhero movies, and Black Adam falls straight into that pitfall. And it falls straight into the pitfall that so many DC films have fallen into. We get this insane, just CGI fest third act, and it all looks terrible. Our villain in the third act, whew, uh, yeah, that's like the mid 2000s work on him. It was bad. Even in those fun action set pieces, where the action is a good time, my eyes were still like bulging out of their sockets at how like ugh, the CGI and visuals were. It's ugly. Then we have like Noah Centineo over here and his character design for Atom Smasher. You take the mask that they very often zoom in on, and you couple that with Noah Centineo's like performance, and it feels like Deadpool light. Like I don't know what was really happening with that character. When he was out of his suit, I actually found him to be charming, and his chemistry with Cyclone was actually really sweet. But ooh, when it was Adam Smash, I was like, okay, well, sir, move along. I'm tired of this character and this CGI. So the characters are not interesting. I talked about Dr. Fate being the most interesting person in this film. He's definitely supporting. Everybody else here is really kind of one note. Our humans and civilians who are trying to fight for their rights can't really uphold the interesting concept. They're not well written enough to elevate that concept and make it hit home and resonate as desired. Black Adam is very one note, and without that charismatic rock charm, you're really just kind of watching him wreck shit, and that's it. The other superheroes are also very one note. there's no well-written character here. Never really found a good tone. Look, I'm all for a dark film. That's my jam. Oh, another big theme of this movie, along with like heroes not being one size fits all, is kind of embrace the darkness. Sometimes that dark edge is needed for action, but the film doesn't really go dark. And it leaves it all feeling kind of tonally confused. We have the jokes in here, most of which don't land, like this whole running gag about, tell him the man in black sent you. I hated. We have those jokes, and we have this like weirdness, and of course we have the Justice Society, who are all pretty lighthearted, and it's mixed with a villainous anti-hero type of character. And once again, these studios keep trying to do this where we focus on an anti-hero or a straight up villain, and we try to make them more heroic because they're our lead character. They're all scared to actually follow a villain, but this film is scared to really get actually dark. And it flies in the face of kind of one of the underlying themes of the story it's telling. Overall, Black Adam is not very good, to be honest. It has a lot of problems, and unfortunately, it's quite an eyesore. But the action is just fun enough, and it sets up a promising enough future for the DC universe. Make sure to watch the post-credit sequence. That if you're a DC fan, if you enjoy superhero movies at large, I'd say give this a watch, but see it at a matinee price. However, if you're experiencing superhero fatigue or you're just tired of the subgenre, you can skip Black Adam altogether. It's only going to reinforce all of the worst aspects that you see in these films and not really shed light on any positive ones. So that was my review for Black Adam. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. What did you think of Black Adam? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.